That's right, it's finally time. Time to talk about the game you guys all love so much. Wait, this is all wrong. Hold up a minute. What? Who put this shit on the screen?
Ready? Let's go.
Ah, there we go, now that's better. Sorry ladies and gents for the confusion. Now let's get on to the video. But first, before the video, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel and leave a comment down below to see what I should do next. If you haven't heard of him already, or you've been living under a rock, let me introduce you to one of the best rhythm game protagonists you'll ever meet, Parappa the Rapper. Parappa is that young pup on the block, taking every problem one by one. He never gives up, and that's why he's the #1. But joking aside, ever since I found out about Parappa after sitting up late one night in my room as a kid, watching Adult Swim and seeing spoofs about his game on Robot Chicken, I've been hooked. I've always been a sucker for rhythm games, and I love the hip-hop genre of music, so combining the two into one game just creates for a great experience. Before we talk about why Parappa is so great as a game though, let's go over the plot of the game. Parappa and his gang of friends have just gotten out of a movie and are hungry, so they go to your run-of-the-mill generic food spot to get some eats. While eating, a couple of goons come in hassling Parappa's love interest, Sonny, and her friends, saying they should hang out with some real men. Before Parappa can even get the courage to speak up against these guys, however, the absolute Chad himself, Joe fucking Chin, rolls up to talk to the two hasslers and scare them away, without even having to lay a finger on them. Parappa, realizing he needs to change that he lacks confidence and strength, decides to go to karate classes to better himself, leading to the first level of the game. The plot is very simple in the sense that Parappa sees he can better himself in a specific way so that his love interest Sonny will think of him better. It's a respectable goal for Parappa to want to better himself, not just for Sonny, but to be a better person in general. The plot continues on the simple thinking as Parappa then sees that my man Joe Chin has a fucking stretch limo as a personal vehicle and takes all of them for a ride to the beach to impress Sonny. So therefore, Parappa wants to get his license, leading to level 2. After getting his license, he takes all his friends on a road trip with his dad's car, and while daydreaming of all the places he can go with Sonny, fucking rams head on into a semi-truck and totals it. Luckily, no one is hurt, but now he has to figure out how to get the money to fix the car, settling on getting a temp job selling things at a flea market. After finally paying off his father's car from his earnings at the flea market, it's time for Sonny's birthday. And Parappa is tasked with buying a cake, but oh no, my man Joe fucking Chin outshines Parappa yet again with a 50-story cake, and to add insult to injury, slaps the shit out of Parappa, making him trip and destroy his cake, forcing him to make a new one day before Sonny's birthday with the help of Cheep, a TV chef. So after making his new cake, a seafood shrimp cake, which sounds fucking awful in theory, Parappa goes to Sonny's birthday party and eats a shit ton of food, making him have to take a massive shit. Sonny and Parappa are left alone by their friends to have an intimate moment, and as Parappa is driving Sonny home, he stops at a gas station to take a shit, but not without first coincidentally meeting all 4 of the previous mentors he's had, all waiting in line to use the toilet as well, having to rap for passage through before he absolutely shits himself. When he finally finishes, he takes Sonny home and later in the week gets a letter from his dad saying he's invited to a party and invites all of his friends to come with him. And let me fucking say, the song playing during the cutscene is such a bop. Look, I know we haven't gotten to the music yet, but my god, the entire OST is such a hit. So Parappa goes to Sonny's house and meets her dad, a military man who tells him he better have his daughter back on time or else, and they drive off to the club. Parappa does his final rap with King Kong Mushi, reflecting on all the lessons of the game and closing out the saga before returning to the movie theater with his friends to watch another flick. Firstly, can I just say, I am such a huge fan of simple storytelling when it's done right. Like, in the last stage, as Mushi is saying, if you got a problem, what you gonna do? And Parappa answers that question by simply saying, I gotta believe. It may seem simple, but it really is just that. Time and time again, Parappa is faced with a problem, and he just believes and finds a solution no matter the issue. Feeling low confidence? Get karate classes. Can't drive your friends around? Get your driver's license. Crash your dad's car? Get a fucking job. Over and over again, we see Parappa be goal-oriented and have a clean purpose, setting small goals to better himself over time to make himself a person he thinks is good enough for Sonny. He isn't just doing this in a vain attempt to impress her, but to show that he is worthy of her affection. Parappa isn't just some soulless character you can place traits onto and be molded however you want. He's his own person, we can clearly see that with the story. But enough about the general plot, let's dive deeper into each level and dissect exactly why Parappa is so good, because the plot and the characters can only take us so far. Alright, so the levels. Let's get straight into them. But wait, what the hell is that thing on the right side of the screen? Well, to tell you about that, we did know about parallel universes first. No, that's not it. So this little graph on the right represents how well you're doing in the stage. The worse you do, the more corrupted the beat gets. You start on good, but if you fuck up twice in a row, you go down a level to bad. If you fuck up 2 more times in a row, you go to awful. 2 more times after that, and you fail. But it also works in the opposite direction. Do something on B and you go back up a level. The game is very forgiving with this, and as long as you finish on good, you'll complete the level. But wait, what's that I hear you ask? What the fuck is cool mode? Well, I told you Parappa is a good game, right? Let me explain. In this game, it encourages you to play outside the beat and create your own flows. Over the course of the game, you'll get lessons telling you to be yourself and to try things out by making your own variants of lines given to you by your mentors. Doing lines that are on beat and also creative will allow you to unlock cool mode. And what happens when you do? Well, you get rewarded with having the rest of the stage, if you can last the entire time, to freestyle with lines from throughout the song with no mentor that you have to repeat. Just straight up Parappa. I don't believe the game devs designed cool mode for the first time playthroughs, rather for replayability to get the best ending for each stage. In Parappa the Rapid, there are alternate endings for if you fail a stage, finish without having good mode, and cool mode. So to get the best cutscene, you have to actively be creative and not just parrot what your mentors tell you without learning anything from the game. It's a great mechanic to have, which is done masterfully, especially for a game made in 1996. Getting back to stage 1 though, Chop Chop Master Onion teaches Parappa to be more confident and fight for himself. The music in the stage is an upbeat tempo with a martial arts inspired backing track. This serves as a perfect starting stage for the player since both us and Parappa himself are novices. Us in the sense of playing the game, and Parappa in the sense of being confident and fighting for himself. The stage has a slow learning curve that feels natural for a student slowly learning more from his teacher, with each lesson introducing more variants of the lines you've already done and combining them to create brand new flows onto themselves. You can also see how lively the world is. It reacts to how well or poorly you do instantly. If you make a mistake and press a button that isn't in the current verse, you'll get a unique mess of animation. Each one is unique to the stage you're currently playing. Going back to bad and awful mode, you'll notice that each stage has a different way of conveying you're doing worse. For Chop Chop Master Onion, he starts losing hope in you by progressively getting more and more lazy with his teachings the worse you do. For Driving Instructor Mussolini in stage 2, you start to swerve through the street more. With a nice touch added to the stage that when she tells you to go left or right, you can actually turn the opposite way and it will work even though the button isn't in the verse. All these simple additions make for such a more immersive world, drawing us in and letting us experience Parappa's life for this brief window and truly connect with his character and his struggles to better himself. So we've gone over bad and awful mode, but how about cool mode? Well, to unlock cool mode, you must first take all the lessons you've learned throughout the game and apply them to your flow creation. I've told you already that you can create your own flow in the game, but let's get a little more into depth with the explanation. You see at the top of the screen that white bar in which the verses appear for you to mimic? Well, each one of those white dots represents a beat in the song. I think you see where I'm going, right? You can add more flow while maintaining being on beat to get more points and also achieve cool mode, in which you're allowed to be even more free with your stylings without intervention from your mentor. It's a great concept and it's executed masterfully, as while it may be difficult to achieve on a first playthrough, you are aware of it via seeing it on the right side of the screen and subconsciously wanting to achieve it while playing, leading you to experiment with flows on your own. There are no tutorials on Parappa. There is no need to have one since it's so simple to understand, and the first stage does such a great job at subtly explaining its concept to the player. Reasons like this make it incredibly easy for me to recommend this game to any level of rhythm game enjoyer, from novice to seasoned veteran. Its replayability is unmatched, as well as its skill ceiling. Honestly, what could top such a great game? Parappa the Rapper 2, released 5 years after the first, expands on everything I've talked about and more to create an even more polished product that I still play to this day. It's honestly amazing all the things they're able to pack into this game. From more amazing music to better animation and even a multiplayer rap battle mode, this game has it all. If Parappa the Rapper 1 wasn't perfect, then the second game may as well be the closest we can get to that for now. This time, I won't be going fully into depth on the story, but a quick summary is that every food is turning into noodles in Parappa's town, and he's tasked to find out why. Parappa 2 carries with it the same base gameplay as the first game, but with more improvements to the algorithm in which it uses to calculate players' points per verse, as well as more difficulties for more replayability. Parappa 2 starts us off in the same manner as the first, having both us, the player, and Parappa learning alongside each other. player, having Parappa master fry cooking while the player gets accustomed to its controls. This time around, the bar for verses is a bit more fleshed out, actually showing where exactly your inputs landed on the graph, giving the player more confidence in knowing how on beat they are, opposed to only going by ear. The most important change with 2 from the original game is the introduction of different hat colors to indicate the difficulty of the stage you're playing. The player starts off with only the red hat on the first playthrough, but after completing the game fully unlocks the blue hat, which mixes up the verses from your mentors and makes them a bit harder and more diverse to play. This repeats 3 times with the order going from red, blue, pink, and then gold, with a hidden black hat mode, as fans have called it, being able to be played if you press a certain button combination when loading into a stage with a golden hat. It doesn't feel like a drag to play through the game 4 times to get the highest hat because it's such a fun task to do. When the game actively rewards you for the time you put into it with more freedom to do things and teaches you how to master getting into cool mode, it's just fun to play. Adding on to that with the amazing soundtrack, and it's a recipe for a cult classic. The music of Parappa has always been more than just a song used for a rhythm game. The composers put actual heart into making each song, and it shows. From Parappa 1 and 2, each song is unique and fits into its own style of rap. From a Kung Fu inspired style to soul to R&B. It transcends being only video game music and becomes stuff I actually listen to in my life. Any one of these songs could play on the radio or Spotify, I wouldn't bat an eye because it's so great by itself, not being in the game. That's what I think a good rhythm game music should be. And I think the developers of the game shared my same sentiment when creating the game. So much heart went into both the games, and I'd really hate to see someone compare Parappa to another game that doesn't have half the heart or soul as the franchise does. I think I've said all I can about how amazing the game series Parappa the Rapper is without droning on for hours about every minute detail. I wanted to keep this video at least a bit concise and not lose my thoughts in the ocean of ideas this script would have ended up being if I had gone over all the things I like about Parappa. Honestly, if you haven't played the games, I highly suggest you do so. I hope I persuaded you to do that after watching this video. Sit down and take a day to get Golden Hat mode on Parappa 2. Grab a buddy and play the battle mode. Enjoy the OST on YouTube. Any way you can experience this amazing game franchise is good enough for me. Other than that, I really don't have anything else to say, so again, make sure you like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.
This maintains forever. Seasons change, you know you can't change the weather. One by one, side by side we stand, forever in your arms, together in hands. Life's like a roller coaster ride. A second you hide, you give it a try, you get down and you cry.